So Nels, since you got to do something, you can't show up to work and not do nothing. Just because you ain't got your uniform, but you gonna do something while you're here. So you better be up in these comments, okay?
Oh my God. Let me first start by apologizing to y'all people, okay? My brain has been all over the place. Clearly,
yeah, she did have a hard day, y'all. Give her some grace.
I had a hard day. Vacation mode last week. I watched the wrong damn episode. So the notes that I have are not for this episode. I don't know what the hell is going on.
Y'all, I got it. This is the crazy part. We're backstage before we get up here. And I'm like, yo, if I would have, because I watched part of this last night, but I didn't watch it in its entirety. And I didn't watch anybody else's recaps or reviews or anything like that. So I was thankful that I didn't, because I honestly said to her, I wouldn't have wanted to finish it. I mean, I wouldn't have wanted to like watch it again. And so, yeah. And she was like, well, what are you talking about? And I was like, Famous. And she's like, clueless. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I saw like on TikTok where they were talking about how Famous is gone. And I was just like, they didn't even confirm it. So like, what the hell are they talking about? Teresa's like, yeah, they did. I'm like,
I was like, what do you mean it hasn't been confirmed? I was like, it was confirmed, girl.
It's because I watched the wrong damn episode.
It happens. Hey, D. Welcome, hey, welcome. Yeah, y'all. So if you as y'all are coming in, please hit that like button for us. This is episode 5. So this is gonna be for us, new to Nels, but for us, it's episode 5. Okay. And it is the nail that sticks up. So yeah, y'all hit that like button if you haven't already,
and that subscribe button.
And y'all, let's jump right into it, because I ain't even gonna hold you, it was sad, y'all. I mean, if I would have watched this previously, we would have had a frame photo of Fame, okay?
I'm because there was things I wanted to say about this episode, and this ain't even the most recent.
Bless your heart. Let's get shady. All right. Hey, Danielle. I seen you pop up. Welcome.
Look, I'll say hey, since I ain't got nothing else to do.
Yeah, you got to do something right now.
Hey,
right. Hey, Danielle. Hey, Miracle. Hey, Blatant Truth. And so Danielle, don't come up in here starting no stuff. I already thought about it. I said, I already know what you're gonna come up here and do, because you already said you was gonna tell on me last week. So don't come up here starting nothing. Won't be nothing.
What you done did?
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, Nels. You weren't here. Don't worry about that.
You know what?
Don't worry about that. You weren't here. Only the people that were here knew what happened. Okay. I had some opinions that I knew you wouldn't approve of, and I got that off my chest.
Oh, God. Let me reiterate for y'all, because I know y'all missed it. I did not watch this episode. I watched the wrong one. So I have notes for last week, because my TV told me what was my most recent episode, and it wasn't this one. So I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
You know what it's giving? It's giving when you wake up in the middle of the night and you think that you're late for work, and you think it's like, that's what it's giving right now.
No, because at least then you can go back to sleep. At least then you can go back to sleep and still wake up. Girl, it's time for work. I'm at work and I ain't got nothing done.
You stupid. Danielle, okay, so Danielle said she ain't gonna start nothing. She's in mourning. Okay. Because I just said we could do without Neek, but we're good. So we're open up right with flashbacks. Okay.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't like the way Neek has been moving, but I will.
Yeah, see y'all.
But you taking a little too far talking about we can do without Neek. I ain't saying all that. I just don't like the way he moving. They don't mess.
I just said I don't like Neek and the way he's moving. I don't like seeing him like this, and I would rather them bring Ronnie back if he's gonna move like Ronnie. Look, Danielle said, "Yep, she said it." I thought you said we was calling the truth, Danielle. See?
She like, you snitch on yourself. Mine as
That's
well.
true. See this slippery slope we on, Danielle? Miracle said that happened to my brother watching an anime before. It's all good. So anyway, so y'all, she said, stand on it, Treat, stand on it. So yeah, we open up with flashbacks of Fame, and his mom. We realized that apparently she was being A-worded, by her boyfriend Lewis. It was really bad. And he was messing everybody up, including Fame. So we see her escape in the middle of the night. And she wakes up.
He was a kid or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he actually made a cute little kid too. I mean, Fame was cute as as he got older, but the little boy that played him was really adorable. And so, but this is what made me mad, right? And I get it. He was supposed to be a child. So they leave quietly in the middle of the night. There's somebody, they got their getaway driver to take them off, to a shelter. Fame says, "Oh, I forgot my toy." And I was like, see, he ain't changed. He stayed this way, even as he got older. So he runs back into the house, grabs the toy, and Lewis wakes up and he's like, "Where's your mother and your sister?" And he starts messing Fame up. So then, forgive me, I don't remember his mama's name. Mama comes in and shanks him, basically. And they get away, and then they get off in the getaway car to the shelter. But Fame almost messed up the getaway because he was doing Fame things. That's why I said it was crazy to see it as a little boy, but I was like, he ain't changed. He didn't change.
His mama. They both do dumb stuff.
Xavier said, "Good evening. Hey, boo, Miss Figueroa." I thought for some reason, why did I think her name was? I don't know why I was about to name her Teresa, because that's not her name. That's not her name.
I think the other girl's name was Teresa from. She's in my notes.
Sal's ex-wife. That's what it is.
She's in my last week's notes.
Yeah, she's in that one. She's in that episode. Yes.
Yes.
Don't do that. Look, Baselli, yes. D said, "Don't do that typical kid shit." It was, but I was just like, Fame was still doing that typical kid shit when we saw him.
Not kids that listen. We out. We're not going back to get your toy, homie.
Look, we'll get you a new toy, but I get it. They were going to a shelter. You know what I mean? I get it. She wanted. Hey, it is what it is. Because we'll see later on in the episode, Fame was doing this. Like, this was his life. Okay, so let's move on. We see Marvin, and he's meeting up with Rock. He lets her know that basically Terry isn't moving their product like he's supposed to be doing. You should know from the episode that you watched, Terry is starting to feel away because Neek went in there and did what he did in the warehouse. So Terry doesn't want to work no more.
Asian dude.
Yes. And so Rock plans to. So she's like, you know what? She tells Marvin, "You need to go have the same conversation that I had with Erwin about this marriage situation that we in. Like it or love it, till do us part." And she lets Marvin know that, the police came by and let her know that someone unalived Andre. And so, obviously Marvin's like, damn, and, poured a little look out for him. But yeah, it was, oh, thank you, New York Angel. Thank you. And welcome. Olga is famous. I never knew that. She does not give me an Olga.
She gives me Olga.
You stupid.
Olga the ops. Olga the ops.
We're in a period of mourning. Who comes to the funeral and does that?
Our son's op. And I wasn't there for the funeral, so I don't know. Okay, I'm not in mourning.
Who comes to the funeral and just said that, y'all?
I wasn't there for the funeral.
Yeah. Xavier said, "I would never understand how someone could look at a baby and say, let's name her off." Xavier, you come with your foolishness. I love it though. So OC, y'all. Okay, so I think the person that said this last episode is not in the chat yet, but I believe it was. And if I'm giving the wrong person they flowers, y'all can correct me. But I believe it was DeMarcus that said something about OC being an op, and he's now working with Neek. And I was like, nah, I don't know if I could see that. Well, I'm jumping ahead, but as we find out, he absolutely is. Okay. So shout out to DeMarcus, because I do believe he was one of the people. Look, y'all, you know what? D and blatant. Y'all need to give her. Can y'all not give that woman some grace? Y'all terrible. She just lost her son. So anyway, he goes to make a drop off to Kanan. Okay,
she didn't lose him. She gave him up.
I can't with her. I ain't gonna do this with you on this Sunday night. I'm not. I'm not. It's right before Palm Sunday. I ain't gonna do this with y'all. So OC comes to make a drop off Kanan, and they talk about who could have possibly been the person to, rob the spot. And now it makes sense to me. OC is like, oh, I still don't know. So then then he questions Kanan about him taking money from the business, and he lets him know the Rock is, eventually going to realize that it's not what it's supposed to be, right? What you're supposed to pay her is not what you're giving her. And so Kanan tells him that, you know what, he's right, but that's none of your damn business. Why are you so concerned about what's going on? Like how I pay my mama. So Kanan tells him that, Rock is going to get them new work at a better price, which we all know she's trying to work with Hafiz. And so he also tells OC that, just keep doing what you told and be the do boy and stop being all up in business that don't concern you. But you got them all up in the business. So it's, I ain't even gonna hold you. If OC go at this point, you're the ops and you set yourself up to be taken out at this point, right? So any thoughts in the chat on OC and him clocking Kanan and him confronting Kanan, and how long we think it's gonna take, how many more episodes you think OC is even gonna be here? Because I don't think it's gonna be too much longer.
He's not the one that got robbed?
Yes, I thought he was unalive last episode, and then they had to tell me in the chat he was still alive.
Yeah, I know. Last episode they said something about. The one I just watched. They said something about him getting robbed.
Right. And for some reason, because we didn't see him after that, it just made me assume that he was, gone until we saw him pick up the, go to the other apartment to pick up the work. All right. So then I think, hold on, does OC really have hay fever? What's up with that? Blatant truth. You funny. Does he really? Because I feel like I'm suffering from seasonal allergies myself right now. So I ain't gonna judge nobody. It is an on and off thing. Some days are better than others. Xavier said OC got cornered by Neek once and turned into his bitch just weak. Yeah. And that's why I said he's not gonna last long, because those type of people never last long. All right. OC gonna be donezo because Kanan and Juke on Demon Time. Absolutely. It's called cocaine. Oh no! Is that what you think? That's what his that's funny, D. That's his hay fever, his allergies. That's hilarious. I mean, I guess that will make your nose itch a little bit, make you, give you the sniffles. That's
did we see more of him this episode? And he's who, OC?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. He went over, he was clocking Kanan for skimming off the top, but Blatant was asking about his hay fever and does he really have it? And D was saying no, it's cocaine.
It's giving habit.
Yeah, it's giving habit. So then we go over, we see Mara, this is Juke's like newfound friend, okay, part of her, community. And she tells her that the police think that her ex-husband Aaron was unalive in a home invasion, and he fought back. Okay. And she asks Juke, she's like, look, girl, I know I just met you and I don't want to pass no judgment. But did you unalive that man? Because, I just can't help but think that when you text me and asked me for his address and then he ended up unalive, I can't help but think that the two might be connected. And so Juke is like, I ain't even gonna hold you. My notes say this is when, and I don't know if anybody else agrees with me, this is when we see Juke come into Officer Juke, in my opinion. I feel like she's now like, how, as we see, especially in this franchise, and we have these dirty cops and stuff, but they're like vigilantes, and if they do one good thing, they could do 5 bad things. But if it's in the name of, and that's how they try to explain it. And that's what Juke is giving me. That's what she's coming into. So she tells Mara, well, no, I asked for your address so if something happened to you again, I would be able to tell the police where to, where to send them. And I said, that was smart as shit. I said, that was off the dome because I wouldn't have thought of that. Especially not if you like, it was just too close for comfort for me. If I was Mara, I wouldn't even sat down with her. Honestly, I would have been scared. But, and then so she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have accused you of that. And so she's like, you know what? You stupid. And so she's like, okay. But she's like, I'm honest though. I've been praying for that nigga to be gone. She said, it's been so many days, so many nights I've been wanting it to be gone. And so, Juke is happy, basically, that she feels like she's done her part. Mm-hmm. She's been a good civilian. So I'm like, okay, yep.
Danielle, I think Mara would have gave Juke some as a thank you, huh?
Right. Danielle said, yep, she's becoming a mastermind. D said, I think Mara would have gave Juke some. Yes, I absolutely agree. So then we see now Imani and Lou, y'all. Okay, so they gonna make this a thing, and I ain't even gonna hold y'all, and I'm not gonna turn this into Shade in the City after the dark. After dark, I say after the dark.
I think she was dark. Him. I think she liked him.
Oh no, girl. Again, we forgot she behind. She need to catch up, y'all. But
she already gave her some.
Lou looked like he might can put something down. I might not like. He looked like the type of man that might cry while he in it, but because it's so good. But Lou looked like he might be able to put it down. I'm just saying.
But does he want to this episode?
Oh,
he was giving her all.
Oh, he does. Oh, he does.
Does want to, or he did?
Oh, he did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Look,
I'm going to watch this.
Yes. Xavier said Jukebox is a Shiro. Right. Imani and Edna mode wig need to go. It's stiff and it don't move. You wrong for that, Xavier. You wrong for that. Imani gonna give Lou his balls back. Yeah. Literally, she gonna fill him up and train him too. D said, Nell, she showed improved. Yes, she did. So anyway, so he's out on the town. Y'all stop. Leave that girl wig alone.
He said it's like a damn helmet.
Now, you know what it reminds me of? What's y'all all go to hell. Y'all go to hell for doing that to Imani. And that's why I forgot who it was. It might have been DeMarcus. Y'all can't compare what's the name, Imani to Noma, because Noma's hair was on point. It might have been, her wig might have always been the same.
Sure. It ain't supposed to really move.
Right. But anyway, so basically Imani and Lou, they're out watching, she's like an A&R, so they're out going into, seeing the different acts, and he's not really interested in the first act, so I ain't really spend too much time on that. What happened? Noor Angel said, yes, I hate Imani's wig. Plus, I think the feds gave her that wig, and that's where that wire's at. Not the wires in the wig. I love it though, Noor Angel. I love the theory. Okay. So then we see Neek. He's still dropping off packages in Pernella's mailbox.
Pernessa? You getting closer.
All right, I'm getting closer. Wait, said not the wire in the wig. Yes, the wire in the wig. Then we move on to Marvin. He is still nursing his injuries from obviously tussling with Aaron and almost losing his life. And so Juke comes in and, offers her help. And Marvin brings up the fact that they still haven't talked about what happened and what she did. And this is another reason why I said we see Juke change. I feel like we see her more becoming the Juke that we met when we met her in Power. Because she said ain't nothing to talk about because she's fine. And Juke said, it was either him or Marvin. And she let Marvin know that the police think it was a robbery, and Mara's glad he's gone, so she don't feel no type of way. I was like, damn, Juke. It was just, and the way she felt like justified in it. I was like, yeah, that's some real serial iller type stuff, but okay. And so Marvin
it could have been him. It could have been, look, it could have been Mara.
Well, and that was her point. So then Marvin tells her that he thinks the army has made her comfortable with unaliving ninjas, right? And she tells him it's not the army that did that. If I'm comfortable with doing that, it's not because of the army. And I said, well, the shade of it all.
I'm about to say that she said y'all.
Well, when you put it that way, what are you talking about, D?
I think she was talking about Juke.
Oh, okay.
I think
Xavier said the way Juke can perfectly rationalize anything, it's scary. It explains a lot. That's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, oh, wow. Because for the first time, like, don't get me wrong, but I guess because they introduced us to her as an adult, and obviously we're going back. Don't get me wrong. I see Kanan, but I don't see Kanan yet, if that makes sense. Like older Kanan. Whereas Juke, I'm starting to see older Juke in her younger character, and I think that's super dope. All right, y'all. So let's move on. Amani. So Amani takes Lou to see this other up and coming Caucasian artist, which Lou seems to like. Okay, and he wants to know, how she found him, and she says she's not sharing her secrets with him. But then she takes him to see some other act, which happened to be this group, and I don't know if anybody else. It was giving Wu Tang. It was You Better Run. Hey, when we coming at you. I'm like, that's a Bob. Listen to that. Hey, when we coming at you. That was a thing. Hey. Okay, but so Lou likes the group. I guess their name is Drawdown Disciples DDD. I like them. See, now I'm so mad because you didn't watch it, so you didn't catch the song. When we coming at you. Hey, it's about
the only song I caught was the one Rilla.
No, it was no, it ain't got nothing to do with Rilla.
Like, you don't help with none of these songs.
No, look, nothing with Rilla. As soon as you said that name, nah, girl, nah, it was not the same.
It was a good song.
Yeah, it was actually good. And so finally, he gives Amani her props, and at this point we realize that they're flirting. And what happened? Yeah, what's good, ladies? Keep rocking. Hey, Vacay JTV, welcome. Blatant truth, Juke was in the army for 2 seconds and has learned a lifetime of information and training. Absolutely. She made the most of her time, okay? What did they tell her? They said, you better be all you can be in the army, bitch, and she did that. All right. Xavier said, I see Kanan a little bit. He's dumb as a kid, like he's dumb as an adult. Well, okay, that's facts. All those acts were better than Be Rilla. Right. They are not the same. Vacay JTV, Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to F with. My fave group, DDD. Right, it was cute. I, for once, most of the time they get up here and put they give us Be Rilla and expect us to sit up here and act like real people would want to listen to it. The nerve. Okay. So anyway.
Or like the streets need a body.
People really liked Streets Need a Body. You're the only one that didn't like Streets Need a Body. You're the only one. Get it together. DDD, let's go. Right. All right. So Kanan, we see him sneak into this storage. Here go King. What's up? Detective Carter. What's up, Detective Carter? Juke was moving militant way before the army, and Be Rilla is nice for that era of rap. Boy, stop. I gotta take you down now, Detective Carter. You ain't making no sense. Vacay JTV said Southside raised Juke. Yeah. So anyway, we see Kanan. He sneaks in, goes into the storage unit, and in the unit, it's he got plenty of money. It's a trunk full of money. Okay. And so apparently we know OC had already hinted that he was, skimming off the top from Rock. And so, yeah, that's where we at. Be Rilla is a hater. I absolutely agree. And I already told y'all, I think Be Rilla gonna break into that man's house. Don't trip. I said it. I love your name.
Yes, I do too.
I love your name. Okay, let's start there. Be real and don't rap like no, how do I say be real and don't rap
You
like
really
that
don't rap
era
like
at
that
all.
no more.
Right, at all. At all. Anyway, so let's move on. Yeah, we just all chiming in and be real is not it. Okay, so Rock goes on, she goes by to see David and she's like, yo, where's Terry at? Okay, so David's like, oh, he playing in their face. So Marvin roughs him up and Rock lets him know that look, we ain't nothing to be played with, okay? And he's like, look, well, Terry's scared as hell after the attack. So she's like, look, we're good now, and I need this work to move. And David tells her, well, I'll talk to Terry because at this point, Marvin has a pow pow to his neck and it's real serious. And she's like, well, if you don't, then, y'all gonna be talking to y'all unalive mama. And I said, ooh, well, okay. You about to meet your maker. And so Rock tells Marvin they need to have another talk with Terry. And then Marvin tells her that he doesn't think Terry is as soft as, Rock thinks he is. And so she's like, well, go get tough on him, but not too tough because we still got to work with him after it's done. And my whole thing is we've seen this be a theme from, I don't know if Marvin has always been like this. And maybe this is why Joy said what she said. And you know what? I think it's real convenient that DeMarcus is in hiding, Mr. Team Joyce. I think that's real convenient that he ain't here this episode because he was all Team Joyce last episode. I'm just saying, I'm calling him out. Okay. But because we got to see how evil she really was this episode. But anyway, no. So yeah, so basically we see this theme with Marvin where he gets an assignment, whether it be Stefano, Rock, he's just supposed to threaten, go rough him up, and then everybody end up unalive. And he's messing up the business.
The only person that understood that was Juke. She know her daddy. That's why she was
right.
That's why in the other episode she was like, please leave your piece down here.
Right, please. Right. And I don't know. I'm like, is that so? I guess has that just always been his thing? Is he like, does he always mess up the mission somehow?
He just
because he just what'd you say?
He just do whatever the hell he want to do.
Well, that part. And he definitely does that this episode, as we know. So then we see Fame's mom, right? Olga. Now that we know, hold on. Nor Angel said Marvin isn't doing his breathing exercises no more. That's why he's moving reckless right now. Well, Xavier said Marvin is a certified fool. Okay. So maybe this is just who Marvin is. So y'all, we see Olga sit down with Juke and Kanan, and she's asking him if they know anything about Fame's whereabouts. And Kanan's like, look, from what I heard from the streets, and he ran off. And she's like, and why? And he's like, I've already talked to you. So why are you coming to me again? And he's like, did Detective Garcia talk to you? And of course, we know that he absolutely has, because he already told her, if you're worried about where Fame is, go ask Kanan. So Kanan makes it clear, I don't have no idea where Fame is. And I'd like to be able to find him too. And Juke backs that up. And she said, yeah. And she said, Fame would never leave without telling us. So obviously we think something's wrong. And so then Kanan gets a page, and so he lets him know that they have a family emergency. But he reassures her that, they'll find, if somebody did something to Fame, they'll find out and take care of it. And then we see a flashback of Fame bringing some stray dog home off the street and his mama letting him keep it. That's why I said Fame is always kind of, did what he wanted to do. Look, respect. Yeah, don't speak ill of the. Don't do that, Nails. Don't. I see you want to say something. Vacay JTV said they're gonna be coming for Marvin and his emo ex. Right. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Xavier said that's just the crackhead in him. Even when they don't put down the rock, the symptoms remain. Xavier, I don't even know why I read this comment. New York Angel said that's how Marvin was introduced in the series, as someone who never misses an opportunity to mess up. Okay, New York Angel. And y'all may not know, for those that are like newer, I wasn't in the first 2 seasons. So Nels usually keeps me abreast on the things that, and y'all in the chat keep me abreast of like things that I don't know or I'm not familiar about the characters. Angela Ward said Marvin is just like Ronnie, low key. Okay, okay, yeah, I can see that. I mean, but you know what? He's Marvin with better fashions. I mean, Ronnie with better fashions, because Ronnie and them sweaters and them pleated pants, high water pants, is something, it's
He was
something
a
special.
psycho.
What happened?
Ronnie was a psycho.
But Marvin is starting to give that.
I don't think
If you
he's
ask
psycho.
me, he's starting to give that. All right, y'all. So we move on. Neek goes down.
He ain't even his own beefs.
What happened?
Everything that he does is because of somebody else.
Okay, this is true. I'll give you that. So we see Neek. He goes to see the contact. I believe his name is Phil. The Sal's wife gave him last episode. And so Neek sits down with Phil and lets him know that, and so Phil lets him know that basically I'm only taking this meeting out of respect for Teresa, and that's the only reason I haven't put a shiny piece of metal in your head. I think y'all can understand what I put down. Did you pick up what I put down? Okay. And so he said that and that's as far as he's willing to extend himself. All right. So Neek lets him know that Rock tried to take him out and take his business out. And he also tells him that, she took out Ronnie and Sal. So he wants to mess up every piece of her life and take back his blocks. So he asks Phil if he wants to, go get into the action. All right. And Phil is like, questions if it's because Rock is backed by Stefano and, the Queens boys. Is that why you here? And he lets him know that, Teresa doesn't know that Sal really didn't like you. Real talk. And so, Neek blames it on them having a miscommunication or a disagreement. And so Sal tells him he's never heard anything about Rock trying to unalive him. And with the position that he's in, he would have heard something like that, basically. And so Neek gets all, how you gonna tell me who tried to unalive me? And which is obviously is not good, because the man already don't want you there. He made it clear that he don't like you, and he probably could have offed you at that point. But he said, you already been put out of business twice. Why would I want to work with you? He was like, here go Neek, because I'm the real MVP. And I just need to build a team around me. And I said, get it, Nick. Now you're cute and all, but boy, if you don't get out of here.
It's not like he shut him down with, you got put out of business twice. Why would I want to? MVP, real MVP, how though? You got put out of business twice. That's a mic dropper.
Right. And so Phil tells him that until he can prove that he can build a team and keep the team together, then he needs to, get out, because basically he's just there on vengeance and got a bad attitude that he don't like. And I said, well, so yeah, we're talking about impulse, not fashion. Oh, you're talking about Ronnie and Marvin. But yeah, y'all, so that was pretty much that scene. What do y'all think about it? Do you think Phil is eventually going to work with Neek? Phil Russo. Okay, thank you, Vacay JTV. Phil don't care. He got bigger territory since Sal Boselli is out of here. Okay. So basically you're saying he don't need to work with him. Neek going outside, he is really giving that. And that's how he looked too. He was all, having his little crazy moment and, banging his head on the steering wheel. And again, I'm just not here for Neek, how they putting him out here. It's just.
What's crazy is I feel like if Rock knew he was alive, she would help him get back on top.
I think so too.
But he just thinks that she did him dirt. Sir, everybody thought you were gone. Like, what? I don't understand what you like. What you expect for life not to move on because you're not here anymore?
Right. Well, I mean, that's honestly what he think. I mean, that's how he feel. That's why he out here unaliving everybody, because he feel like they ain't loyal. Because he's gonna come back harder. Pause. Bye. So then we see Juke and Kanan. Apparently the page was about Mama Joyce. She had a fall, and Juke wants to call the ambulance. Mama Joyce just makes it clear she ain't paying for it. But obviously we see Mama Joyce's cancer is really kicking her butt. And yeah, and obviously we know she's declining. And I mean, like the doctor said, the end is inevitable. It's the same destination, whether we slow it down or whether, speed it up, it's the same destination either way. So then Amani lets Lou know that she spoke with, so we see them back at the office, and she lets Lou know that she spoke with the drawdowns management, the DDD, the when we come in at you. Really like them, y'all. And so they're interested in working with them. And so, however, the Caucasian boy's mama apparently is managing his career, and apparently she's some high-powered attorney and works at some firm. So she lets Lou know that making a deal with him is not going to be easy. And then she tells Lou that she wants to invite him over so he can check out her record collection. Okay. And so, and then, but of course, then he gets on the same page, and he gets the same page as everybody else is getting, and he rushes off because obviously we know it's about Mama Joyce, right? But yeah, so he's gonna go over and check out her record collection. What y'all think about that? I mean, we already know what happened, but anyway, so then Quan calls a meeting with Rock. He summons Rock, and he is scolding her about the fact that her payments have been off, because we know that he had hit her with that 22% or 20% increase, something like that. And so Rock lets him know, well, you're getting what you get because I didn't agree to an increase. That's something you said. I didn't agree to that. And I said, the boldness, I love it. So Rock is like, look, I really want to know, what is your beef with me? Like, and Quan says he doesn't like her because she's messy, and people are out here being unalived in the streets, and she's not addressing it. So and he's like, and he brings up how she came in and took over Neek's business, and he feels like that was real disloyal or whatever. And so he tells her she lacks honor. That was his words. So Rock tells him he can keep his respect for Neek, and she's looking for a man with heart. I said, oh, okay. So that's one thing I will say her and Neek clearly have in common. And she said, she's looking for a man with heart that's about his business, and that ain't him. And I said, I honestly don't know how Rock walked out that room unscathed. And she tells him he's on some shit. Okay. I don't know why I said one word and not the other, but okay. One got through. Anyway. And so he tells her, he met Kanan, and he's like, oh, he's a very nice young man. And, he hopes that she's better at being a mother than she is at running a business. And I said, oh, these are fighting words. Okay. Y'all are out here sparring. And so he tells her that, they're done, and he'll let Stefano know that he's no longer supplying her. And then she gets the page, of course, about Joyce. But did anybody else realize that we didn't see her run over to the joint? Or I felt like the page was about Joyce because everybody was getting the same page, but I don't know. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the chat. Record collection, smooth line, right? I gotta use that. Come check out my records. Okay. Blatant Truth said Quan has to go. Absolutely. I can't stand him. Vacay JTV, Quan is a hater of Black women bosses. Never liked him. Completely agree. Great for Rock calling him out on his assness. Quan is trash. I absolutely agree. And I really want him to do something about that hairstyle. It really bothers me. It really, really bothers me. D said, yes, Rock saw the page and went to her next meeting. I know. Jesus. What do you think about that, Nell, since you weren't here to weigh in on that? What do you think about how Rock is doing Mama Joy?
So the part that I saw was when she was having a conversation and she's telling her mom that, you gave up, whatever. And she's like, oh, you're just mad at me because of what your dad did. And I mean, I see both sides. I mean, but Mama Joyce admitted that she was not the best mama or the best wife, even before the daddy passed away. Right. So really, I mean, I feel Rock. You didn't give a damn then. Why the hell should I give a damn now?
Well, that part, I'm sorry, I was laughing. Don't trip, I said it. Quan thinks he's in Black Rain. That's what it is. I couldn't figure it out. It is giving a hint of Purple Rain vibes. He does give me that. And so I can absolutely, now every time I see it, I can't unsee it, but Asian Elvis, right? JTV. Oh my God, that was funny. But yes, to your point, she absolutely admitted that, she wasn't the best mother. But at the same time, I just think that, she's gone now. It's not going to change. Making her feel bad or holding her account, it's not going to change. She said, what she say? She said, somebody had to look out for me because nobody else was. I ain't have time to worry about y'all. I had to worry about me.
That ain't how it works when you have kids.
I know that, but
And that's why Rock is saying, guess what? On to the next meeting, because somebody got to worry about me.
right. Xavier, Mama Joyce is not fighting this pissing Rock off. Absolutely. I think that's what makes her more angry is the fact that she's not fighting. And I actually had this conversation with D, if she's still in the chat a couple days ago, where we were talking about how the fact that she purposely didn't tell those kids as long as she could hold off on it. And I think if they could have saved her life, they absolutely would have. If they could have got whatever medicine, whatever treatment, even whether they like her or not, I think they absolutely would have. But now it's to a point that they can't do anything. And I think that's especially Rock. I think that's why she's more upset. Because if that's one thing she can do, she can throw money at a problem. She might not be good at emotions, but she can fix a problem with money. And the fact that her mom made it so she couldn't fix it, I think is what she's really hurt by.
Okay, when I sit in your shit.
Don't trip. I said it.
Let me handle my business.
Right. Don't trip. I said it. Said I was so glad when she showed her true colors because I remember that mean church mama. Now I will tell you, towards the end of the episode, we about to get there. Yeah, Mama Joy showed that I no longer felt bad for her. Vacay JTV, Quan should have left the kids out of this. I agree. Don't trip. I said I think she's upset because now she'll never get to tell her how she really feels since she's dying. Well, I guess that's why she's getting it off her chest now, getting her little, last little. Like I said, spars, and yeah, she was even more upset that Kanan knew before she did. Right. All right. So then we go and like I said, Rock went on to her next business meeting, or like y'all said. So then back at the hospital, the doctor is warning that Joyce will basically at this point need around the clock care. And so Lou arrives and Kanan lets him know, look, the cancer's messing her up and she gonna need somebody to stay with her. Lou said he can't do it or he'll be back to drinking after 5 minutes. He said, I just can't do it. He said, check with your mama, check with Uncle Marvin. I ain't got it to do. He said, my sobriety means more to me than playing with this woman.
Here,
okay?
And you're not. You're not going to be here for much longer. There's no point in on your way out, you mess up my life.
You are terrible. You are terrible. Miracle said Joyce is like a nicer version of my daddy. Neither have any remorse or anything for anything they did or do. Yeah, and that's always unfortunate. You never want to feel a way about people that are leaving, and it sucks when they don't want to, make it right before they go. So that, it's just sad. It's just sad. Blatant Truth said Rock better stand on business and not act like the girl in Imitation of Life when Joyce checks out. Oh, okay. What does that mean? I ain't never seen that. What's that, girl? Yeah, let me know what happens in that. Now you're gonna have me go look that up. So anyway, Rock, to y'all point, I guess y'all was right. Rock ends up meeting with Hafiz. Y'all was right. I thought y'all was just being funny, but no, she really was at a meeting. So basically she rolls up on Hafiz because she's like, yo, I'm tired of waiting on you. We know Quan done cut off her supply. So she really needs him to move. Okay. And he said on his only condition, he said, all right, well, look, I've been a little hesitant. He said, only thing I need from you is I need to meet with your other partners because, there's territorial, situations going on out here in Queens. And so Rock said, okay, I'll introduce you to the partners. But my thing is, I need you to know I'm in charge. And I think because Rock is realizing the people that she's working with are going around her, going to Kanan, and so she makes it clear it's me and only me. I am the only boss, ain't nobody else. And so she agrees that she's gonna set up the meeting with her partners, which I imagine one of them is gonna be Kanan, and that's going to end up being a problem. Xavier said, you have to see Imitation of Life. It's so good. It's about this Black mother and white mother who raised their children together, and the kids turn out so different. Really? Okay. So in Imitation of Life, the New York Angel said the daughter was hella mean to her mom just to cry and act a fool and regret how she treated her at the funeral. Oh, okay. I get what y'all saying. Okay, so you think she's gonna have regret. And see, my thing is, even if Rock regrets it, I
I
feel
don't think
like
she wants to show it for
I
real.
was gonna say, I was just getting ready to say that the first time we even seen her somewhat show emotion was when Andre passed. After the police had left and finished questioning her, and she seemed like she might have been a little messed up by it, but we know
In the
Rock don't
episode
show.
that I saw,
No, I think it was the one where, yeah, when they told the police came and told
the
her.
only thing I saw was she was mad that she lost her connect to the inside. I didn't think she was actually upset that Andre passed.
I thought she was
That's
a little
that's
upset.
not what it was given. That's not what it was given.
I thought she was a little upset. Don't do that.
It was like, damn, he's gone. Like, this is my only connect.
You stupid. So yeah, y'all. And if y'all haven't already, please make sure you hit that like button
and a subscribe button.
So yeah, y'all. Marvin is tending to Mama Joyce. She's back at home from the hospital, and or no, is she still in the hospital at this point? She's still in the hospital at this point. And she's very limp and shaky, and oh no, he's tending her and tells him that he's strong and he's not limp and shaky as Rock tries to make him out to be, right? So she tries to encourage Marvin to mess with her morphine so she can go peacefully. And so Marvin's like, well, he's like, well, no, why don't you just ask your doctors to do that? And she's like, that they're not going to do that. And so, she's just ready to end her pain and suffering at this point. And so he's like, well, how do I go about doing that? She said, I didn't already pay one of these nurses. Okay. And they done gave me some extra, extra little boost. Okay. And so I guess we see that they setting it up for, Marvin to take out Mama Joyce. Dee said, yeah, her and Marv poured one out for him. Right. I thought she was a little.
That don't mean she was emotional.
And just I agree with Nels. Rock only cared that her lawyer is gone. Rock is extremely selfish. You see, she ain't trying to see who took him out. Terrible. Xavier Meyer said no mother should ask their child to do that. It's unreasonable. It was really bad, y'all. So and then we'll get into that. We getting there slowly but surely. All right. So then OC is walking down the street. We see a car pull up in the middle of the night, and of course it's Neek inside. And this is when it's confirmed that OC is out here working as a double agent for Neek and Kanan. So he tells Neek that Rock has beef with Quan and now is looking for a new supplier. He also and Neek asks about Kanan. OC lets him know that Kanan is skimming, but he isn't sure why or where it's going. And so Neek thinks, basically it's not stealing if you're taking it from your mama. And then he kicks, OC out the car. And I was like, well, it's absolutely stealing. It's more up stealing if it's from your mama, I feel like. Vacay JTV said Joyce wanted that bump, bump, bump. She was ready to go. I'm gonna need each and every one of y'all to make sure y'all at least make Easter service, please. Y'all do nothing else. Save your souls and go to Easter service, please. OC is wild work. Yes, he is. And that's gonna end up getting him unalive. So then we see Rock. She's going back home, and she said her name is Pernessa. My notes say Pernella, but she's sitting outside the house waiting for Rock. And she confronts her about the payments being left in her mailbox. And she accuses Rock of being the one to do it because she feels guilty about taking Neek out. And this is why I guess I can't even see it to get her name right, because she gets on my nerves. Because just take the money. Why are you in here? And that's what Rock was basically telling her. She said, well, first of all, you and everybody else think I had something to do with Neek. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't. But however, why are you complaining about free money being left in your mailbox? And so she's like, because we all know that nothing's free. And she said, well, I can guarantee you what, it didn't come from me. Okay.
Hey, Cortland.
Hey, Cortland. Hey, boo. Cortland said these characters. Oh, so Cortland, I think it was you. It might have been you that mentioned it last week. About OC being the double agent. Now that I think about it, but yeah, y'all. OC Early, we know how it ends for them. You think Early's gonna be gone too? I don't know about that, Cortland. Vacay JTV said Pernessa with the weird claim. What the hell? Right.
You see, it said Pernessa.
Well, her name is Prunella. If y'all, I don't care what y'all say.
Now, wait, what? You went from Pernella to Prunella?
Oh, well, that's what my new Prunella, Prun Nella. Prunella. So
No,
anyway,
I thought you was getting closer. No, you ain't.
no.
No, you ain't.
So Blaine Truth said, what did she do with the money from the previous months that all of a sudden she wanted to confront Rock? Right. I don't know. And this not even trying to be funny, y'all. I've never, even once I started watching, Nels can tell you, when I started watching season 3, I never really seen it for her. I've never seen it for her. I'm not here. I mean, I understand that she's innocent, but just the whole like kind of dummy role that she plays, I'm not here for it. Nor Angel said, I don't know why OC doesn't just tell Kanan about Unique threatening him. Because OC thinks he's being slick and he's doing something, and it's gonna end up getting him unalive. Vacay JTV, Palmolive oil needed to go on vacay with that bread. I'll take that too. Don't trip. I said it. Pernessa bringing Rock her stolen money is diabolical. Right. Right. Because it's Rock's money at the end of the day. Great point. Oh, God. Xavier said, I don't like Pernessa, but Rock did steal her man. She could be a little nicer. You want her to have some coof? With an X? Prunella, like from, that's where I got that name. Where it came from. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get the name out my head. Thank you so much, Xavier. This is why you're needed. Here. Okay. OC's hay fever has him delusional. Right. All right. So let's move on from Prunella, and we're moving on to Marvin, who goes to talk to Terry. Terry makes it clear that he wants no partner of this business with him and Rock. And he tells Marvin if he doesn't leave him alone, he threatens he'll go to the police and tell him everything. Well, we know this is not a good idea. He starts to get a little smart with Marvin. Marvin tells him, look, that's crazy talk. I need you to simmer down, brother. Because, you don't want to talk like that. And Marvin warns him again, and Terry keeps talking shit, and Marvin lights him up, literally. Like a light. Out like a light. I'm just saying. So yeah, y'all. But we know Rock had just told him that don't take it too far. We still got to work with him. So I wonder how this is going to end up for Marvin, because Rock was very clear in her directions, and yeah, maybe it'll just be, I'm sorry, but we'll get into that part about it. All right. So then Amani finally get Lou in her bed. Okay. And she admits that she lied about having a record collection. Okay. She ain't have not now record. Okay. And then she even goes as far as to ask him if things are over between him and Fame's sister. And so he's like, but you've been researching me? That's weird. That's what I'm saying. That's why who said it's a wire in the wind? Yeah. That's why it makes sense now, because she's over here asking like, yeah, so you sure you done with her? And he's like, yeah, that's done or whatever. And she was like, I always do research on things that I'm interested in or something like that. And then, she's like, and then they, they go another round, and, that's when I was like, well, I don't know. Lou give me, I don't know. This is when I need Danielle to chime in. I think Lou might be able to. No, he gives me sensitive sap. If you want somebody to make love to you, that's what it is. If you want somebody to make love to you, Lou give me that vibe. Okay. That's what he gives. All right.
I'm still thrown off about the fact she know about Fame's sister.
Right. Well, Vacay JTV said Marv has no pause. Therapy fail. Right. You need to find a new thing. Well, we know he's no longer in therapy. Xavier says it's time for Marvin to take a dirt nap. He gets on my nerves. Well, damn, Xavier.
Oh.
Vacay JTV said Marv about to be on the run. I absolutely think so as well. Your angel said, like I said, Amani is the feds. Right. Xavier, I wanted to see more. What happened to long interludes they gave to Ghost and Angela? Right. It was quick. We saw the after of it, basically. Your angel said Amani asked too many damn questions.
Mhm.
And VKJTV says, shout out to the Areola gang. You said that. All right, y'all. So we see, all right. So it's hard. It's hard for me.
Oh, is
So
this the part?
we see some random kid and him. I'm gonna assume I'm not from New York, but I'm assuming he ran into the bodega. Might have been a corner store. It wasn't a 7-Eleven or a CVS. That's what I'm used to. But so he runs out, he steals a 40 ounce. That's how you know this was back in the day, because it was still on the shelf. I don't think you are 40 ounces still on y'all shelves in the store. For some reason I felt like Florida outlawed it. I don't think you can sell 40 ounces no more. Anyway, sorry, sidebar. So anyway, the owner of the store, he realizes he steals, he chases him out, and he chases him into abandoned building where he's hiding. And that's where we see a body under a mattress, a light-skinned body, not like this, a light-skinned body. And so, which we all is confirmed to be Dame under the mattress. Well, that's who I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I'm still holding out hope that Fame ain't, because they said they're waiting on the dental records. But his mom came, identified him, because his body had been there for a while. You could tell it was badly decomposed. So it gives me a little bit of hope that maybe he's not gone. But I really want to know y'all thoughts in the chat. If y'all think that's even a possibility, or you think he gone. So yeah. And so then we see the mama go down to the body. I mean, go down and identify his body, and Detective Garcia lets her know they waiting on dental records. And then she loses it when they show her the body, which makes me think, as badly decomposed as it was, that was her son. But VKJTV, Mama Olga's face said it all. And to Dee's point, and some of y'all at the beginning of the live, I think a lot of her guilt too came from kicking him out in the first place. And then after he came back home, and the whole turning into pow pow to the
Yeah,
popos.
that for sure.
I think she feels really guilty for that. Where's B Rilla at? Cortland, we don't care. I love you, but we don't care where B Rilla's at. B Rilla is probably somewhere in Lou's apartment. That's why Lou had to go over to her house to check out her record collection, because he can't have no company, because B Rilla sitting up on his couch. Okay. VKJ. Here we go. Let's straighten this one out. Said yes, in the bodegas, they on the shelf. Okay. On the corner stores in Queens for sure. Oh, so there are corner stores. Okay. Just saw one earlier today. Okay. I don't know. Again, I'm not from there. Yeah, holding out hope that Fame is still on the run, and that basically maybe he faked it. That's what I'm hoping it. But D said, nah, your child, regardless of the condition. It's sad. All right, y'all. That's y'all saying it's Fame. And taking that strap made me crazy angry at her. Yeah, a lot of y'all won't give her grace. Y'all won't let her move past that. Right. She let him keep the dog. Just get rid of the pow pow. Right. So anyway, Mama Joyce, she's lying in bed when Marvin comes in. It's supposed to be give her that fatal dose and take her to her final resting place. No pun intended. I don't know if y'all know what song that comes from. Just don't chase waterfalls. Stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to. All right. So anyway, his mother, he's having a hard time doing it, right? And so his mother wakes up, and he said she hears him. He's basically saying it to himself. He's like, yeah, I can't do it. And she's like, you're sorry, Marvin. You're always sorry. And basically is guilt tripping him for not assisting her in her let's just call it what it is. She wants an assisted termination or deletion. Is what she wants him to assist her in that. And he can't do it.
And trying to piss him off to do it.
And she tries to piss him off to do it. So that's why I said it's real convenient that DeMarcus is gone. This one, because he was Mama Joyce, team Mama Joyce. You real MIA. I know he gonna be in the comments tomorrow. He gonna be in the comments tomorrow, but I'm gonna call him out on it. Blade Truth said Joyce cried about that ambulance ride, but had money for extra drugs. Right. Hey boo. Don't trip. I said it. Mama trying to pay her way into the upper room. Okay. Blatant Truth said Joyce played in Marvin's face. She is so evil. I look. I said that when he tried to say Rock was worse than Joyce. I said never. And so then we see Quan. He's coming out of the warehouse when Neek rolls up. Appears like a thief in the night. And he tells him that I thought you was gone. But here you are. And Neek tells him, yeah, I've been getting that a lot. Okay. And so then we see, Fame's mom grieving the fact that, she made her son leave. And then we see Kanan get the phone call that Fame in the news that Fame is gone. And we actually see Kanan break down because, he lost his best friend. And obviously now.
And they never got back on good terms, right? Before Fame left.
What happened?
Didn't they have a falling out before Fame left?
Who, Kanan and Fame?
Yeah, they never got to
I don't think they did. Yeah, I don't think they were able to get on good terms. And I think that's why Juke kept wanting. She was like, "Oh, you need to talk to Fame. You need to talk to Fame." I think that's why she kept pushing for it. But yeah, y'all. So that was this episode 5 of trying to call him a chicken so he can do it. It ain't gonna work. Evil Joyce Rock would have done it. Yeah, she had with a quickness. Absolutely. But yeah, y'all, that was this episode of Raising Kanan. I'm not sure. I believe we may get a break tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow. Next week, because mid-season. I don't know. Maybe they'll be back as regular scheduled. I don't know. I felt like I heard something like it might be a break next week. But y'all be telling me.
Regardless, I'm gonna go watch this episode now. So next week. If it does come on next week, I'll be ready.
Yeah, go watch the right episode.
I'm gonna go watch the right episode.
So, Kanan felt bad for pimp slapping him and pushing him away. Right. Don't trip. I said it sure did. Kanan kicked him out of his house and let Ronnie terrorize him. Right. Okay. So, Nels, you weren't tripping on that. So, yeah, y'all. I will see y'all next week. Hey, Michelle, where you been? Where you been all episode? Oh, Xavier says we get the break at episode 7. Okay, thank you for keeping us in line, Xavier. And Xavier, I want to slide in our DMs. Slide in I don't know if you look. Let me put up. Either find us on I want to talk to you about making you a mod. So yeah, slide in my DM. On IG. But yeah, y'all. So if you haven't already, please make sure that you hit that like button. Make sure that you guys go ahead.
Make sure you comment.
I'm so used to doing it by myself now. Make sure that you guys subscribe.
And you hit the notification bell.
And make sure you're following us on all the platforms. That's the TikTok, IG, Blue Sky, and Facebook. And yeah, y'all. We'll catch you next week. Make sure you tune in. Real Housewives will drop tomorrow night. We are working on Love After Lockup. Y'all know I'm doing Beyond the Gates daily recap. So we staying busy over here. But I want to thank y'all for y'all support. Love y'all. Have a great week. Stay safe. And no stress. Okay? No stress. Be blessed. Bye-bye, y'all.
Good night.